Hi, this is Lacy Kelly. I'm the Executive Director of the Orange County Division League of California Cities. And we are here in Sacramento at the State League Policy Committee meetings. And I'm standing here with Robert Ming, who is a councilman for Laguna Niguel. And he is also the second VP of the Orange County Division Board of Directors, as well as the Vice Chair of the State League Revenue and Taxation Committee. And they had their first meeting of the year today, and they were visited by a man named Mark Hill, who is the local government budget manager for the State Department of Finance. And so, Robert, we were wondering, how did that discussion go with Mark, and what were some of the key components of what he had to present?
Sure. Well, thanks very much for coming, and thanks very much for listening and watching the interview. We had a very interesting discussion with the governor's representative. He had a lot of things to say today, some of which we expected. Things like it's a very difficult environment, we have lots of boxes we have to deal with, it's hard for us to make ends meet, there's no place else we can go to get revenue. We kind of expected all that, but what we didn't expect was what I view as a complete disconnect between the governor's office and the cities on what to do next about this problem. And his focus was continually on how they can't find any more sources of revenue to get things to do with, and the passion in the room was obvious. There was a lot of members of the city representatives here who said there is a fundamental problem with what you're doing, and we cannot continue this way. There needs to be some cuts at the state level.
Well, thank you for that. I have another question.
Sure.
As you know, we have about 43 representatives from the Orange County Division to State League Policy Committees, and one of the things that we've been talking about for the last couple of years is while our members would like to see cleaner air, they don't want to see their businesses and local governments go bankrupt trying to implement some of the new environmental laws. One of the things that came up in your committee meeting today was AB 32 and SB 375 and the potential suspension of those items. I know you made a motion. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. There was repeated mention by committee members that they're not only being strangled by a lack of money, but that the regulations that they have to deal with are costing them a tremendous amount of money. And it came up repeatedly in the committee, and especially after Senator Bob Dutton made his presentation, there was a sentiment in the room that we really needed to send a message that the regulation part of what the state is doing to cities is really crushing us. And so I made a motion that the governor exercise his ability. I made a motion that the committee recommend that the State League write a letter to the governor asking him to exercise his ability to suspend AB 32 and SB 375 for a year because of an economic hardship. He's already declared an economic hardship to be able to take our money through Prop 1A, which is what he did. And so now we're suggesting that if you found it such an economic emergency that you needed to take our money, how about also suspending these two provisions that are costing us a tremendous amount of money to be able to comply with, and still very unclear about what they mean in the long run, and it's something that the League has taken positions on before, and we've written letters requesting that the State League take this position, and today we actually were able to pass that resolution. So this committee recommended that the State League Board take a position and recommend to the governor that he exercise his authority and suspend AB 32 and SB 375.
Okay, great. And what was the level of support on your committee on that?
It was great. There was only a couple of no votes, a handful of people, but other than that, everyone else agreed that that's the recommendation they should take forward. Now the next question is, what will the state board do with that? Because we did send them a request similar to that last year that they decided to go the other direction on. So hopefully we'll have some results on the state board too.
Okay, excellent. We'll look forward to reporting back to our members on that. Is there anything else that happened in your committee that you'd like to share?
You know, it's a very interesting committee. There's lots of things to talk about. Probably the biggest one was working on what they will be spending their time doing this next year. And one of the things that we were talking about having them do is work on the structure of the financing for the state. At a summit during the year, we were able to work with schools and counties and come to the conclusion that nobody particularly likes the way property taxes are sent up to Sacramento and make a huge round trip and then come back to us. And so hopefully the state Rev Tax Committee can help come up with some constructive ideas on how to fix that, to keep those local property taxes local, move the state funding mechanism for the schools locally so that we can have local control, which is our mission. And I'd love to see some concrete proposals come out of staff and be addressed at this committee that might make some difference on those subjects.
Okay, great. Well, as you all know, we have several committee appointees. I think it was 43, I said, And we have had 3 other committee meetings today that we will report out to you as soon as we can, and 4 more tomorrow. I want to thank you for taking the time to interview with us, and I enjoy working with you and enjoy being here, and thank you very much.
Thanks, my pleasure. And the state, our delegation's making great progress. I think that the voices that you hear up here that are moving the discussion in the right way are a lot of the times coming from Orange County. So a great job recruiting them, and thanks for keeping us all organized.
You bet, Robert.
Thanks.
Thanks.